Ladies and gentlemen, look what the cat dragged in. He's alive. He's made it for the second rendition of Moving to Magnets. Champs.
Back from the dead, man. They call me the Undertaker around here in Victoria.
Yeah.
So, I was a bit burning. You guys were out last night, watching the footy together. I wanted to just pop up, but we did the responsible thing and stayed home, rest up, so we could feel good for today.
Hey, I just went out for dinner, brother. Just a quiet dinner at the Rosstown.
Yes. Yeah. That's fine. It's still burning, but
True. How did you? So, do you know why you're sick, brother? Like, what's the go?
I don't know. I think it's
telling everyone.
Nah, yeah, I think it's the flu, man. I think everyone in my fucking office, they got they just got it going around at the fucking office. I don't know. They all got the jab. No one had the flu, and then all of a sudden they're all sick. A couple of days. The next week they come in. I get sick right after the Misso's birthday on the Thursday. So at least got to spend the day with her before I absolutely fucking flatlined and died for the last 3 days. So
sweating bullets, hey?
Yeah, man. No good, boys. No good. But the weight cut looks good. I'm ready to do UFC, some boxing if get the call up.
Jackson, we remember you, mate. Of course. How could we forget? We love having you here, mate. We love having you here.
Well, what's going on, Jackson, with all the accounts, mate? Got some burner
accounts? A few burner accounts or what, Jacko?
Yeah.
What place will we be if we win? Do you mean like what place would we be going out, Gamer Boy? Is that what you're insinuating? King's birthday.
Can't be much happening. Tonight would be the night, brother.
Tonight would be the night. I don't know if iPhone and iPad. Okay, fair enough.
That's fair.
Totally fair. What's the score in the Swans and the Geelong game?
I know Geelong bloody jumped them at the start.
They're up by like 5 goals, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly. I was watching the VFL game.
Sure.
So 93-81 apparently.
22 minutes played, so there'd probably be like 3-4 minutes maybe left, maybe 5 if you're lucky. Yes, Gamer Boy, mate. I reckon I'll be home. Well, actually, where will we be after the game, champs? Where are we going to be?
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That's a tomorrow issue.
No, brother. Brother, we're going to be on the post-game show.
That's that is true. That is true. What are we doing after the post-game show, though?
Nah, we're going to be on the post-game show till all night. We're going to do fan cams. The Pies are going to win. We're going to win. We're going to kick a goal after the siren. It's going to be Nick Dacos after the siren, and then we're going to be here having drinks and cordials for Jackson until the early morning of Tuesday morning. That's what's going to happen. Yeah.
God.
There we go. 93-81 Sydney winning. Thanks, Jacko. Unreal. So just while we're warming up, guys, we're going to get the teams at 6:20. Caleb has got some news from the VFL game between Collingwood VFL side and Casey, which just would have concluded maybe an hour ago. But yeah, teams at 6:20. So we'll probably let a few more people come in. We'll at around a 10-minute mark, we'll get into what we saw in the VFL. And for those of you who were watching the VFL, what did you guys think?
Yeah, exactly. Right. At least it was something to do, something to watch this weekend. And normally don't get to watch so many VFL games, so get to see the boys running about. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Gamer Boy, Melbourne is 10th. They are 7-5, 12 games played, and Collingwood are 6 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses. And the man has entered the building, champs. Sheesh, he's back. He's alive.
Let's go, champ.
Did you see Chris's get well soon Caleb message in the stream the other day?
What a smart ass, man. What a smart ass.
Jackson has to push dinner back to watch his amazing stream. Is mum making you dinner, dad making you dinner? What do they got going for you? You gotta eat your veggies, right?
So yeah, what's on the menu, Jackson? What's on the menu?
What's happening? Look at this.
Oh, fucking hell. This guy.
72 minutes, man. Yeah, so Carlton Essendon coming up tonight as well. I'm pretty keen. Taco Sunday, Jacko.
Ooh,
Unreal. Thought it
that's
was
elite.
Taco Tuesday though. Usually, isn't it? LeBron James has
What
his
do you got
tacos
for
on
the
Tuesday.
Jets?
Yeah, Carlton Essendon tonight. That will be. Won't that be an interesting one? I reckon I've got Carlton.
Yeah,
What do you reckon,
same.
Pep? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm on Carlton as well. Should be a great game though. Real keen to see how that goes.
I want to see. I just want to see Harry Mackay and Ben Mackay.
Yeah.
We'll
He's going to
see.
get bragging rights on the potty.
Yeah, that will be funny, bro. North Melbourne finally won a game. They did. It was a crazy game at that. Champs, did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched the champs. So when I was sick, that's all I could do yesterday, man. Watched all 3 games. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad of a game. It was well, the last quarter was good. The rest of it was pretty fumbly skills wise and a little bit of a hard to watch. But I thought Hutchinson for our West Coast, who just made his debut, obviously ex Collingwood VFL, thought he was actually quite good for Eagles. He was very close to having a great game, champs. I'm not sure if you watched it, but he had good attack on the footy. He was leading up well, pretty unlucky not to score a goal. I think it was a game where just a few things would have gone his way and he would have had a cracking debut. But I think the signs are there for him to be a good player. So yeah, real big ups for him. And yeah, it wasn't too bad. Did you watch the game, champs?
I watched it at the Rosstown. I had a steak, had some
Yeah.
chips and salad. I actually didn't know. For some reason, I didn't register that Hutchinson was playing for West Coast, even though I was watching the entire game. But it was a crazy game. What was it? So North were up by 33 points. I'm just trying to see here. What is the biggest loss from a third quarter deficit? So had West Coast sorry, I've lost my mouth, champs. Had West Coast won that game, that would have been a top 15 all-time comeback deficit in the last quarter. So that's a fun fact there. But it didn't happen. North Melbourne held on, and mate, I reckon they'll gain a lot of maturity from that. Just overcoming that sort of late in Perth as well.
Yeah, I thought North were going to choke there. Like the momentum was going all Eagles, and then obviously the play slowed down after the concussion late in the fourth, and kind of just stopped the momentum for the Eagles, and then kind of the game kind of slowed down really.
Yeah, Liam Duggan ate a pile of dirt there and just went to sleep, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't think he was out initially, but then once we saw the replay, man was stiff as a surfboard.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Jacko, do you play footy, mate? Do you play footy? If so, how are you going? What are we up to? I reckon a lot of people are out tonight. It's a Sunday. It's pretty much a Saturday, brother. Let's be honest. It's a Saturday for most people. People probably G'ing up for the Carlton Essendon game. Yes, yeah. Team's coming out 6:20, so we'll do a live release of that as well. And I reckon in about 2 or 3 more minutes, we'll talk about the VFL and give you guys sort of an idea of who we're probably going to take into that AFL game tomorrow. Nice. Yeah. What position, Jacko? What position?
Yeah, I think we might as well just jump into it. That's what I reckon. I'll give it another minute.
Go on then.
We'll start off with the VFL performance, and then we'll talk about then who's going to come in, and we'll try to predict the squad before it comes out at 6:20. But there we go, Jacko, pretty good. In under 10, smashing by 20, 70 points. But yeah, essentially, watched the game today. There were some good takeaways from the game. I think we got to see Ilroy Smith work for the first time and see how he goes about things. Quite similar to his, I guess his rookie mixtape they released. He's very athletic and he's, very, very quick for his size. And his first, second, and third efforts are really good. So he keeps attacking the footy quite well. And then if he doesn't get the footy, he'll follow it up quite well. He'll also really willing to crash a pack as well. So he'll just go up, put his body on the line, crash a pack, and just make it a contest, which is something we kind of need at a higher level. One thing I did think Smith could probably work on was his tap work. I think he always goes 12 o'clock every time. So I think what he'll do to develop at Collingwood is just, being able to use his hand and just manipulate the ball instead of just smacking it at 12 o'clock or trying to get it as far as possible each time. I think that's something a lot of young ruckmen do, champs, when they first come in, or you see that like senior level in grassroots and even state leagues and stuff like that, they just get overzealous and they just smack the footy forward. So yeah, this is something he'll need to work on. I did see a comment earlier about Reef McInnes. So obviously he got 16 disposals for the game. He played all right. He actually had, I would estimate, because there's no stats on the VFL on the app. It's pretty garbage, but I reckon he was probably about 40% centre bounce attendances. So he was actually in there quite a bit, and he actually did link up with Smith to get a nice little clearance, champ, straight into the middle. Straight into the forward line, sorry. So that was a good little link up there. Thought he played all right. I think what was missing in the VFL game, very similar to the senior side, champs, is we got no talls. And that's like, because you had Reef McInnes up there. You had Ash Johnson, who didn't have the best game. And then Ilori Smith didn't play I don't think he got on the ground in the first quarter. Didn't really make an impact. And then he did come forward and get a nice little lead up the ground, Smith, in the forward line when Ash Johnson did pinch hit in the ruck in the third quarter. But I think we just kind of lacked that tall there in the forward line, which is very similar to what's happening in our senior side, champ. I thought Luke Quaynor as well wasn't too bad. He was very reliable. He was able to get a few handballs. Let's go, champ. A little bit of live teams.
There you go.
But yeah, he's very like his brother. He's not gonna, like when you think about Quaynor, right? He's not gonna. It's not really a highlight reel in terms of, you're not gonna get like a Jeremy Howe or a Big Brazzy kind of attack on the ball. They're just very reliable players, and he, obviously being his brother, emulates that a lot. So yeah, I think a lot of shades of his brother. I think he doesn't have the explosive speed just yet. I know he's quite young and he's probably will develop that, but I just thought off the mark he's not as quick as his brother. And that's probably one area of improvement if he wants to kind of emulate that. But what we can take away, which is what we're going to try to do now, champs, is predict the starting squad for the ins and outs and the omissions.
So did you mention Big AJ, or did I miss that?
Nah, I kind of touched on it, champs, but look, we can touch on it a little bit. I think AJ, he had one of those games where he presents quite well, but he just doesn't. He's not able to hit the. He's not able to hit the mark, and he's just always missing. You know what I mean, champ? Like he goes up for a mark, and I feel like if it's a contest mark and he has no time to think about it, he can clunk those. But there was a perfect example. I think it was in the second quarter. He bet his man into the pocket, just went to go up, had his hands up. There was no one around him. And then the ball just went straight through his hands. And I think that's something to do with his confidence that, he knows he's not in the best form at the moment. And I know in the past, like for myself, it's like if a coach has come to me and said, hey, you need to work on something, I overthink it. And I think when he's got time to be like, I really need to be clean with this mark, he's overthinking it, and then he's just making simple ball errors. So I think that's something that he like, I don't know what he can do, because I think it's all mental at this point. But I thought his effort was there today, so it wasn't too bad.
Awesome. Hey, champs, also, I'm not sure, did you take much notice of Dimitier by any chance?
Yeah, he provided a lot of good run and carry, champs.
Was he half-back flank?
Yeah. Half-back, rolled into the wing as well. Got 22 touches for the day. Was quite good, and quite daring with his kicks, like opening up the ground. He was quite a good first time I was really watching him play from start to finish instead of just highlights. So it was good to see how he operates, and it was actually very good. And then there was another, what was it? Sam Glover as well, was unreal. Key defender for us. Got like 26 disposals, absolute unreal for us. He's actually not part of our AFL contracts. He's not part of the team, but I think he's someone, an opposition will probably be looking at him. He played quite good. He is a little bit older though. He's about 27, so you might have missed the boat there, but he actually played a cracker every game.
Yeah, yeah. And Chris is wondering, champs. You promised him the Pies Tea Cup to be present in every live stream. It seems that omen's been not that omen, but that superstition's been broken, champs.
Yeah, well, it's got the lem sip in there, but yeah, that's why champ no tea. So
No
still
tea, so
recovering
it
from
doesn't
the
count.
yeah. I guess we can bring up Rick's comment. I think what I'm saying looked good. I mean, like he does the fundamentals good. I thought his pace is what I was kind of alluding to is kind of off at the moment. Like I think he's a little bit too young. He's a little bit slower for the game. But I think like if the ball came near him, he was able to spoil the footy, or he was able to dish a hands out to someone near him. So he wasn't that bad in that sense. I know last week he had a real quiet game. Being the first game of VFL, I was actually surprised he probably got another run after that. But yeah, I thought today he was able to just do the fundamental things well. Probably, I don't know if he holds a spot, probably does, but yeah, just like you got to consider how young he is. He probably, it's a good way to try and mature him. And as long as he does the fundamentals correct, that's kind of what you're going to ask for these younger guys.
And I think at the end of the day, with Luke Quaynor, he's not. It doesn't seem like he has the same reputation that Isaac did in his under 18s level. I think Luke, if anything, at the moment, is probably a third round pick at the moment. And we have to temper our expectations for him if that's the case. He's not going to be an Isaac Quaynor, at least for now, it seems. So, yeah, he's young. I guess you could make the case other TAC Cup players come in and dominate at VFL level, but at the end of the day, we're being fair with Luke because we're comparing up against his ability, not a Nick Dacos or something like that, for example, or an Isaac Quaynor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, he did have a goofy slip over. Is what Rick's alluding to. He kind of like took a mark and just slipped over, like pushing back off the mark. Looked a bit goofy, but yeah.
Yeah, we're posting a live stream tomorrow, Gamer Boy. We're doing the pre-game show and the post-game show. We're doing a pre-game show and a post-game show. So I think if you check my channel, Gamer Boy, if you check our channel, we should have the times there. I can't quite remember what time we're starting. Champs, do you remember what time we're starting and all that sort of stuff?
Nah, I'm not too sure. I'll pull it up now, Champs. Pull it up.
Yeah.
Pull it up, Jamie.
And then and just in a moment, with the players that have played in the VFL today, Caleb will talk through sort of what it looks like at AFL level now, because it really does
paint a good picture, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a really blatant picture, really. So we'll have a look at that in just one moment. But Caleb, just checking the stream times for tomorrow, Gamer Boy.
Yeah, so 2 p.m. tomorrow is the pre-game show. And we'll discuss, what we need to do to win, get your guys' thoughts and opinions of the game, and, do a normal discussion like we normally do. And then obviously we have the post-game show like we normally do. That starts at 6:10. We can discuss all the stuff that happens within the game. Hopefully we come out winners, and we'll also have the fan cam going again. Hopefully Big Cuckoo can make an appearance in the fan cam. I tried to get him on last time, but I think he was fucking spewing over the loss.
Big Chris. Are we watching the game together? Champ, if you're feeling 10% better tomorrow or 15% better tomorrow, I'll have you with me. If not, we'll do it this way, but we haven't made a decision yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Jack, I've been highlighting you. We saw, thank you. Sydney won by 20 by 30. You're hungry, mate. You're hungry, Jacko. Yeah, tell us. Who are we thinking for AFL level tomorrow?
Yeah, so if you guys watched the VFL game today, and when you saw the squads release last night, you would have seen some players missing. So TJ obviously didn't play Tujaf. We've also got Kruger that wasn't listed in the VFL. So what that leads to tell me is, I should also point out Will Parker played in the VFL. Ash Johnson also played in the VFL. So that points out to me that Ash Johnson would be dropped for a direct swap for Kruger, and he would come in and start. And that's what we were kind of alluding to, thinking Kruger would have come in anyway to play that ruck role when needed, when Dusty Cameron needs a chop out. And obviously had a cracking performance in the VFL, so he should get that call up after a 3-goal haul And I think they're backing his fitness in there. So that's one, Ash Johnson for Kruger. And then the second one, Will Parker for Tujath. So he will be starting at, I reckon he'll come in as a sub. As we've seen in the past, Fly likes to start these guys who are debuting as a sub. And, Champs, you and me both agree it's a great way to implement someone who's taken that next step in their footy career to adjust to the pace of the game, whereas the jump from VFL to AFL, the speed is going to be so much quicker. So I think this is going to be a good segue for him to be working his way into the game, and really excited to see if he does get selected, what he can bring about.
Yeah, 100%. So TJ for Will Parker, Kruger for AJ, and then guys in the chat, help us out. Is Markov, I know he was away for personal reasons a couple of weeks ago, but is he away again this week for a wedding? And then if that's the case, then Will Hoskin Elliott would come in. But if not, if that's not the case, then Will Hoskin Elliott probably comes in for Parker, and then TJ would probably be the emergency. If that's the case. So yeah, do you guys know anything about that, or we're not missing anything there? Champ, so would love to see big Krugs come in and have an impact. Absolutely. We just need him to help out Darcy in the ruck and to do something in the forward line, be a presence, be manic in there, kick a goal or two if you can. But you'll see Kruger, he won't shy away from the importance of this game. He'll always find a way to impact the game. Whereas AJ, if he's not clunking them and taking pretty marks and kicking pretty goals, it's hard for him to get involved. And I think that's the biggest difference between an Ash Johnson and a Nathan Kruger.
Ben
Benny boy,
man.
There we go.
Great to have you back. We just discussed it before. Reef wasn't too bad. He had 16 disposals in the VFL. Was surprised he played. I would have thought he was, kind of like a shoe-in to come in and play AFL. But it wasn't too bad. And I was actually really surprised, as Jackson's making me laugh in the comments. But he probably averaged about 40% centre bounce attendances in the VFL today. So, yeah.
He went to so Markov went to the wedding a few weeks ago. Markov was away for Freo for wedding. Would love Ted to debut, but I think McRae will be the sub. So Hoskin Elliott's definitely coming in. Like, I don't see a world where Hoskin Elliott doesn't come in. So that means
spoils the TJ plan.
Yeah, TJ for the emergency then.
Yeah, because we thought Markov was away. But if that's the case, then it would probably be emergency, wouldn't he, Champs?
Yeah, seems like TJ. They'll have their emergencies. A couple of emergencies who would have played VFL today, but they probably just wanted to keep TJ fresh as the first available emergency for tomorrow. Here we go. No, Jim. It's a mistake. It was from a few weeks ago, actually. So Markov won't be missing due to wedding. He'll play, but that's fine. Will Smith play this year? He's fast, good mark, real Champs.
It could potentially. He was actually a little bit. He surprised me a little bit more than I thought he would. Like I was saying, he's very explosive. Moved well, somewhat around the right contest. He's very like erratic, Champs. Like like Mason Cox. So imagine like a more athletic version of Mason Cox when he like crashes packs and the way he rucks. But I think against like an AFL caliber ruckman, I think he would struggle a lot more. So I don't know if he comes in this year. I think maybe get a full preseason, beefing him up just a little bit, and then see how he goes.
Did he rest in the forward line at all? Because you said he didn't play till the second quarter. So who was the other ruck for the VFL? Do you know? So his name?
You got Liam Parcell at Pulse 8. Actually, he was one of my trainers there.
Okay.
He was pretty much the ruckman for most of the game, and then Smith come in and then help. They helped each other out. Then Liam Parcell would go into the forward line, and Smith was rucking around the ground. Got a lot more game time from about halftime onwards. But yeah, didn't look too bad, Champs. Didn't look too bad. And then AJ also was in the ruck in the third quarter for a little bit.
Okay. Interesting. 10 minutes, guys, till the teams come out. And then from there, we'll discuss the possibilities. They're not endless, as they sometimes are, because we've got so many injuries and all that sort of stuff. Let's and then we'll do a combined best 23 between Collingwood and Melbourne. So we'll need your help, guys, in the chat as well. Guys, when you watch this stream, what are you guys doing? Are you just watching it on your phone? Are you in your lounge room watching it on TV? Are you doing something while you're listening to it? I'm actually intrigued. For me personally, when I watch a stream, I usually just watch gaming streams if I do, and I'm usually in bed at that point. So I'm sort of just watching it and falling asleep, right? Yeah. Marty, under 3 seconds for 20-meter dash in his draft combine. Yes, Caleb, you mentioned as well, right? He's quite. You said he's quite
really
fast.
explosive around there. Yeah.
There we go. That's the one, Rob. That's a good one.
While on the office,
that's a good spot. It's a good spot, isn't it, champs?
Yeah.
Benny Parsons on my phone. Very good.
You know what's bad about that, champs, is when you've been in the toilet for too long and you're there watching YouTube, Instagram reels, and then your leg gets numb. You know that? When you get up and you're wobbling around, champs. No good.
Well, feces dries up, so you need to go get some. If you don't have wipes, degradable wipes, and it dries up, it means you've definitely been on the shitter for too long. So just be mindful, mate. Don't be in there for too long. Caleb's dying from an undisclosed illness right now, but we don't know what it is. We don't know if it's bad Chinese or anything. I've used that joke a few times now, but yeah, Rob, don't be there for too long, mate. Maybe relocate. Oh, actually, hold on. Yasu, George, Yorgos Tikanete, man. What's going on? Caleb came with me to Greece back in high school in year 7, and Caleb's Fijian. He's quite well versed within the Greece culture, the Greek culture, having hung around me most of his life, but also going to Greece. So he also knows a little bit of Greek, but just be gentle with him.
Champs, what about this is my infamous Greek story, is we had to go, obviously learn Greek, had to do a poem. Remember this, champs, with what was that teacher's name again? Mr.
Pappas.
What? Pappas, yeah. Mr. Pappas.
I know,
I was blanking out. I was thinking Sabbas for some reason. Mr. Pappas, and we went to the Greek retirement home, and I went up to do my poem, champs, and I'm there, and I've gone to say, Yasu, Melanie, Caleb, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then this one guy, he stands up and he's pointing at me and he's going, Mavro. And I knew what that meant. I knew it means black. And he's just pointing at me, champs. I remember I went to punch that kid, that old bloke anyway, man. And I was like, I remember going off stage, like pretty much crying.
Where was this?
It was the year 7, champs. It was year 7 at like probably Clarinda or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all right, brother. At least you tried, brother. At least you tried, right?
I was probably stuttering through the whole thing, man.
Marty, I'm stuck in my room because of COVID. So your talk has helped me. Go Pies, need you to win. Thanks, Marty. We hope the Pies get up and hope you get better soon. You're gonna watch the Carlton Essendon game. That might get you through your evening, hopefully, and I'm sure you'll be barracking against neither of them or barracking for neither of them. It's an interesting one. George, I'm from North Fronina. So where's Fronina? Because I've got my papu side is from Kriti, which is Crete, Kanya, and then my yaya was from Samos. So champ, what's the word called when you talk about like the world stuff? My geography isn't that great, so you'd have to paint me the picture, George, as to how far Samos maybe. Well, Crete is a South Island, so I know it's. Galovasi. Where's that, Yorgos? Where's that one?
It's near the Turkish border. Like,
only Greek I know is Malacca. There you go, Moshadamas. Chris loves that one, champs. The Mabro one.
Yeah. Oh God.
6 minutes, guys. 6 minutes, and we're gonna get some teams. We're gonna know a little bit more about the matchups tomorrow. We'll get to know a bit about what Melbourne are gonna give us as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a good game tomorrow. I'm very excited for tonight, actually. If I don't know if I'm speaking out of pocket here, but yeah, really, really excited. I'm more excited for this game tonight than tomorrow. That's how good expecting tonight's game to be.
Hopefully. Near the northwest border, 2 hours out of Thessaloniki. There you go. We'll never back the filth, so hope it's a draw. I thought so. I assumed as much, Marty. I assumed as much. What else is going on, guys? What do we do to stay busy on a cold Sunday? What are we doing? I watched Bad Boys at the cinemas. It was actually a good one. I think it was better than the last Bad Boys, in my opinion. That was quite funny. Don't get out to the cinemas a whole lot anymore. But I probably should. I actually don't mind it, to be fair.
Back at the old stomping ground, champs, huh?
Yeah, Hoyt Chadson, the one and only. In Japan, 25 degrees. Jeez, that's nice.
Must
Are
be
you? I feel like I've asked this question, Theo, but are you there permanently or on holiday? I can't quite remember. Look at this guy. Teams are in. Darcy Moore is out, and the replacement is Tom Hawkins. What a joker.
Can we talk about Tom Hawkins and the amount of bloody baby oil he uses on himself? Like, you reckon this should be... Huh?
Good strategy.
It's a good strap, but surely it's like... I don't know. Like, surely there's something against that, like in the rule book, where hey, you can't just lather yourself up like you're about to go on Pornhub and be an actor. You know what I mean? Like, he's not as bad as he was. But I remember like COVID, like 2020. Man, that man was glistening. Like he was.
Yeah, he was shining.
He was shining.
Yeah, I don't know. My old man loved a bit of baby oil on his arms when he was playing, and Dangerfield as well. Parsons notes. Yeah. Same as well. So it's funny how that works. I don't know. Did Dangerfield ever use baby oil before he came to Geelong, or was it when he got to Geelong, Hawkins gave him the old nudge and said, "Hey mate, like this is the way to go." Josh, how you going, mate? These last 5 weeks have been horrendous, but guarantee they'll play their grand final tomorrow as everyone does against us. Exactly, and it's going to be a grand final for us as much as it is for them. Yeah, so exactly. See how it goes. Really, 4 minutes, guys, and the teams are out, and then. Yeah, we can have a look at it. Beauty. What else you got for me, brother? You got something for me? Something for the chat?
What about the some of those umpire decisions last night, champs?
Yeah, the one with Elliot Yeo, or the St Kilda Gold Coast one was disappointing.
Yeah, I thought Elliot Yeo got done a little bit.
Yeah, I just feel like it's safer for umpires to put their whistle away in the last 2 minutes of games. I think it'll work better out. It'll work out better that way versus trying to impose yourself in the game. That's my opinion with umpires. Like, and it happens a lot in finals, in grand finals. They put their whistle away late in the game. Why can't they just do that in the home and away games? Like that hold on Mac Andrew with Max King was rubbish. Elliot Yeo one was like, I don't know.
I think it's because like he tried to get up. I can see why it was paid. That one was stiff though, but that one I wasn't as annoyed at.
Like, if you think about it, right, if he doesn't make that call and just says ball up, no one's going to be losing sleep over that, are they? Neither side.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
You know, fuck. Alistair Clarkson's not going to come out in a press conference and say that should have been holding the ball. Whereas conversely, it's just now it's a whole big kerfuffle. Robbie, well, all our life, really. So I started supporting Collingwood because my old man is a big Collingwood supporter. Champs, what was your origin again?
Yeah, exact same. Old man was a Collingwood supporter as well.
Yeah.
So here we are.
And where'd you get your white premiership banner behind you? My brother got it for me, and that is from the AFL shop, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think... Chris, if you're in the chat, do you remember how much this banner cost? Or did I get it? I may have got this. So I think I got that one. My brother got me that. And that's obviously my membership scarf. But guess who's in the chat? We got two introductions. J-Mo, Bong Smoker, and then Champs, the one and only.
Manny, man. The Harvey Norman special.
Tell him about the I think it was a picture I sent you on Instagram. I think it was an Adelaide supporter that broke their TV or something.
Yeah, yeah, and he ruined the weekend. I ruined the birthday party. Man, that
There
was
you go.
definitely a funny on a burner account.
Yeah, yeah, Manny. There was someone in from after the Adelaide Richmond game. They broke their TV, and it was their kid's birthday party or something, and everyone left, and he'd ruined the whole weekend for everyone. So hopefully that's not you tomorrow for the rest of the work week. Team lineups. Nothing yet, Jackson. Nothing yet, but it will be any moment now. Okay.
Oh.
Adam Smith wanted to KO the reporter that kept asking about that decision. I have to go watch that. I would too, to be honest, if someone's going to be incessant about it.
Yeah.
$40 was the white banner, Josh. We can beat the D's backs against the walls. We play great, exactly. Sydney look fucking unreal, Jimbo. They're uncontested footy and the way they can move the ball. And if they want to mark play on, handball, receive, and break lines, they can do that as well. They've got both, and they score really well from turnover. They're the number one side for scores from turnover. Teams are in.
Here we go.
Let me share the screen. Hold on, guys. Hold on now.
Hold on, champ.
Hold on. Present. Share screen. Here we go. Okay, let me hide this. Okay. Hoskin Elliott in, Nathan Kruger in, Ash Johnson, as we know, omitted, Will Parker omitted, having both played in the VFL. Ed Allen, emergency, who played today in the VFL. TJ, emergency, unplayed. Ash Johnson, VFL. Umpire's not confirmed, so we don't know if Matty Nichols is umpiring us tomorrow.
Your best mate.
Yeah. So, give me 1 sec, guys. I just want to adjust this slightly.
Oh, a little bit off topic because we've seen Ben Brown listed. Champ, I counted how many fucking steps this man takes. 29 steps.
So should they call him for holding the ball then?
No, like 29 for his shot, bro. 29.
Yeah,
I always knew it was long, but like I'm like today, this is ridiculous, and it looks really weird on the VFL ground because the side of the boundary, because he took a shot from the boundary and it's not as deep, so it looked really weird because he pushed back really far. I had to count it. 29 steps, but anyway, we'll get into the team selection, champs.
Yeah. So just looking at the starting six, it seems like Billy Frampton is going into the back line and Jeremy Howe is in the forward line, if that's the case. And that is what we want to see, isn't it, champs?
Exactly right. Definitely, Frampton's definitely found that home down in the back line, so it's good. Get him in there. You won't have to pinch hit on the weekend either, so we'll have Kruger in there. Which
means Oleg Markov, if I had to guess, will be the sub. I really think it'll be Markov or Bytel, actually. Or Bytel. So, yeah, what are we thinking about those ins, guys? Are we happy with that? Will Hoskin Elliott, Nathan Kruger, and AJ and Will Parker out. And then on Melbourne's side, they got Van Rooyen, who was a late out last week due to a groin. Jack Billings, who's been up and down this year. Bailey Lowry and Blake Howes. And then Adam Tomlinson omitted. Tajwa Worden omitted. Shane McAdam omitted, who kicked 4 for the Casey Demons today, I think, champs. Something like that.
Yeah.
And then Lockie Hunter injured. Here we go. Free speech is dead. Hey, mate, welcome to the chat. I saw your comment. I think it was yesterday, but it's a long comment, so I just have to go through it and break it bit by bit. But I will get back to you on that one. But thank you for joining the stream. What do you think about the team's free speech is dead? What do you think? Benny loves Krugs. Love how it forward provides an extra genuine aerial contest we need at the moment. Absolutely, champs. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly right, champs. And then we're seeing Sidey as well push back onto the wing, champs. Something we haven't mentioned yet.
Yeah.
So he's onto the wing. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if that's something that does transpire, but it's worth noting that maybe his halfback flank performances haven't been enough to hold down a spot there, but who knows? What else have we got here? Finn needs to fucking lift, boys. Fuck me, he's had heaps of chances. Come on, Finn, 7 clearances. Yeah. Well, hey, damn, so he doesn't get dropped. which means he gets another chance at AFL level, and he probably won't be the sub because he is listed on the field at the moment.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna get drop champs, but obviously not. So,
well,
yeah.
If you think about it, right? If there's ever a chance to give the man a chance beyond what he probably deserves, it's probably now rather than when we're needing our best team out there in the next 6 to 8 weeks, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Um,
Then we can say, he did have a good string of games together as well when we did give him a shot, right?
Yeah. So free speech is that Petrarca will play forward, and I feel Howe needs to stay back. I think Brazzy probably does a really good job in Petrarca when he rolls forward. Petrarca's been playing 50-50 mid-forward, so I think Brazzy can hold that down. If we look at their forward line champs, Harrison Petty's been bang average this year, bang average. Bailey Fritsch is good.
Yeah.
You probably put an Isaac Quaid on. Hey?
I said he's annoying, cunt, isn't he?
Yeah. And then
I think IQ gets the job there.
Van Rooyen's probably a Darcy Moore. They're not super tall. They're really not super tall down forward, so they'll need track there as well. I don't think they stretch our defense too much, even if Howe was to swing forward. No. But in saying that, Howe probably does match up better on some of those players compared to Billy Frampton. So we'll see what it looks like.
Yeah. I was actually, free speech just mentioned it as well. I was about to say, champs, I love when they sometimes put Brazzy right in at the centre bounce at the start just to fucking ruffle some feathers. Yeah. So maybe gets in, just gets under Petrarca's skin, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, brother, I mean, like Petrarca he'll play 50-50. Brazzy can play on him, but they will get smashed in the middle and get the ball in quick. Need defender down back. Brazzy can play on him, but they will get smashed in the middle and get the ball in quick. Well, I'm saying Brazzy plays on track in the forward line, which if track is in the forward line, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul for the Ds. I think track might actually play more forward midfield given how badly they were smashed against Fremantle in the middle. Let me check how many centre bounce attendances track had against Fremantle, because I similar to the Bont, how his centre bounce attendances went up against Collingwood last week. I feel like it'll be the same thing with Petrarca regarding the Collingwood game tomorrow.
What do you reckon with Markov as well, champs? Swinging him into the back line, or if he's not the sub, or is he playing forward?
I guess if Sidebottom is going to play wing, it would make sense that Markov goes back to the back line, I think.
Yeah. I think
that's their call.
Yeah, I think I also heard he was training this week in the back line as well. I don't know where I heard that, but I did hear that as well.
Okay. Centre bounce attendances. So Petrarca was 50%, Keziah Pickett was 50%, Neil Bullen 50%, Clayton Oliver 58% as well. So no, they really did have everyone was 50-50s all the way around. So it'll be interesting to see what makeup they have there. And I think Petrarca, if I had to guess, 65% maybe in the midfield versus 50 last week. Melbourne supporters will definitely bring the heat to Brazzy. It's inevitable, but not get over it. But like, it's done now. It is what it is, and Brazzy's remorseful. He's a good mate of Brayshaw. Played at Hampton Rovers and with the Vaffa with him, champ.
Would have been there some JFL because it's juniors.
JFL. Sorry.
But what champ? Yeah, I think I was watching the Magnets as well. Sending flowers, and obviously, not the outcome he would have thought would have happened when he went up for that spoil, right?
Yeah,
but he's gonna get booed all day. It is what it is, and he's a hard, tough pill to crack. You know what I mean? So he'll be up for the mental battle there.
Yeah, exactly. Charlie Dean needs to hold his feet. I hope they don't put him on Van Rooyen. Let me see again. If we look at the team, the forward line, he won't play on Cade Chandler. He won't play on Neil Bullen. I honestly think Charlie Dean could take Van Rooyen and then Darcy Moore on Harrison Petty, and then Billy. See, the thing is, right, like, I don't think Billy Frampton can play on Bailey Fritsch. So maybe Darcy Moore plays on Bailey Fritsch, and then Billy Frampton plays on Harrison Petty. And just, you've got to trust Charlie Dean to have a better performance than last week against someone like Jacob Van Rooyen. He's not Sam Darcy. It's the champs. They're a similar height matchup as well, Van Rooyen and Charlie Dean. So if Charlie Dean's to be in our team and remain in our team, he needs to play on Van Rooyen and do very well.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, so they're about the same height. I think, yeah. I know, I just agree with you. I think Bailey Fritsch as well. I don't know. Quain was small, but he's quite athletic. And he does do a good job against someone bigger as well. So I would like to see him take that assignment, unless he goes on Pickett.
Yeah. That's the thing. There's a few things. It's very hard to pick these ones before the game because you don't necessarily know who is definitely playing backline. Is Billy Frampton? Yes, he's listed as halfback, but does he actually play forward? Jeremy Howe, like I said before, might be a better matchup for some of those players compared to Billy Frampton. So who knows? Who knows what Fly's got up his sleeve? Will Hoskin Elliott is a plus, and Krugs is a wild card. If we run out 4 quarters, we win. Simples. That's the plan. That's the hope. Bruzzy, no good 1-on-1. He's a bang and crash play at ground level. The only player I've seen Bruzzy being well beaten by is Toby Green. Toby Green. Do you have any, Champ? Can you pull up some 1-on-1 defensive contest stats for Bruzzy's career on Wheelo, if that's okay?
Yeah.
You can find that for me, Jamie. What up, Jamie? Got to have him back. I think his dash off halfback is where he is at his best. Who's that in regards to? Sorry? Who's he talking about there? Who's running dash off halfback? Moshadamas. Sorry. Dean needs to lift for sure. He has missed a lot of football. Would rather see Dean in forward line, Howe back. That's that's something I mentioned last week. I said, if you're not going to swing Frampton back down to the defense, at least put Dean forward because he was getting killed, and bring Howe, Frampton back and then Howe forward. And even if we want Howe and Frampton in the back line with Darcy Moore, I don't know if that will work necessarily, but that's something we could consider. No one can beat us if we play as a team. Kruger in forward, and if we kick straight, Krugs to kick 4 and get injured. Hopefully not, but I wouldn't bet against it, DMR. Dean, very frustrating to watch. He has been frustrating, hasn't he, champs? It's been frustrating to watch, unfortunately.
Yeah, he has. He sometimes just gets out of position, and he got a little bit stitched up last week on Sam Darcy, but yeah, he just looks clumsy sometimes, doesn't he, champs? Like, he just gets out of position and like he loses. It's like he loses track of his man, and then he's trying to overcompensate and makes like a clunky decision. He'll be either giving away a free kick or getting burnt or something like that. Like, he just seems like he just switches off for a little bit, like a slight second, and that's all it takes in AFL. And then he's overcompensating, and then looks like he just looks really clunky, and the mistakes are evident.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how are we going with those Bruzzy stats, brother. We mustering some of them up. Can you see them?
Yeah, I'm looking. Do we want to see career or by game?
So I'd like to. I feel like with this season, it's a bit early to get a large sample size. But if you look at the last few seasons, where's how many 1-on-1 contests is he having in the game? Is it more than 2? And if so, what is the percentage? Is it below 20%? 20% would be below 20%.
At the moment, 1.3 1-on-1s. For the season. His peaks were in the 2022 season and 2021, which he did 2.2 and 2.3. His career average is 1.6 for reference. So obviously over-indexed for those years. But yeah, his average is about 1.6. So he's down a little bit this year at 1.3. And then his loss percentage is 31.3%, which is higher than what he normally is. He's normally sitting about 24.8. So okay, there you go. Free speech. That's a point. Maybe not the best 1-on-1 player, but in saying that, again, like, footy for the most part these days is not 1-on-1. It's team defense, and if you're being beaten at the back or the ball's moving too quickly, your forwards behind you and they bump you and then they get the free the mark. That's considered a loss in a 1-on-1 contest.
But really, what had beaten those players was the fact the ball moved so quickly and got over your head. And the forward touches you, it's considered a contested mark or a one-on-one contest.
What we love about Brazzy is career high at the moment, 3.2 spoils he's averaging, and a 5.3 1%ers a game he's averaging, which is well above his career average of 3.5. So, he makes up for it in other aspects as well. And his spoils, like you say, he does come across, and that's where a lot of his spoils do come from, when he's crashing a pack and putting his fucking fist and sending it into bloody Rosed.
There's a few narratives tomorrow, brother. So you got the Brazzy Maynard narrative. You got the Stephen May making those comments on Best and Fairest night, where he mentioned that they should have won in the qualifying final against us, and they should have been in the grand final. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I love the comments. I love the backing himself. But it'll be exciting because there's narratives there to look into tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about it the other day, or you were talking about the other day, how we want some more narratives in the game of footy. So it should be exciting tomorrow. Should be exciting.
Yeah, it's sports entertainment at the end of the day. Give us a bit of WWE. Give us something to read into. Don't be scared to say something. You know what I mean? Oh dear.
Don't make me laugh too much, champs. I'm not that much better.
My bad. Hey, Craig. Hi all. What do you think for tomorrow? What do I think for tomorrow? How about this? I'll mention two things, then maybe Caleb can mention two things. I think the D's were absolutely trounced in contested footy and clearances last week. I think they're going to come back swinging tomorrow. If we can break even in that realm against a typically really good contested clearance side, then that will go a long way. And then my other one is... our scoring shots per inside 50 rate is pretty good. It's just the fact of the matter is we're not scoring enough goals. Like, for example, that 12 scoring shot first quarter against the Doggies, that game should have been all but over had we kicked straight. So just more goals per inside 50 versus scoring shots per inside 50. Champs?
Yeah, and to another point is, we've got Frampton hopefully going to be playing the back line, so it gives us a little bit more stability. But with Kruger coming in, it's going to allow us to have a little bit more structure up forward and a larger target to kick to. And I think that's what we were really missing last week against the Dogs, where, we had Markov in there, we had Billy Frampton, two guys, that are kind of out of position. Markov did play forward at Richmond, but not like I wouldn't say it's his traditional spot. So I think by having, Kruger in there, even Howe in there as well, it provides that structure that was really missing last week. And I think that's where we're going to see the biggest gain. And then hopefully as well, we see Darcy Cameron as well resting down there if needed.
Yep. So that would be good. That would be good to see. So that's probably some of our points there, Craig. So Moshadamas was talking about Markov before. Yeah, so he's running dash off halfback. Will be nice to see. I think I've mentioned, I don't know how many times this week, but our defensive half transition has been almost nowhere to be seen for the most part of the year. I think we're scoring 19 points. The AFL average is 32, and it has us second last in the league, whereas last year we were first in the league for defensive half transitions. Yeah, Craig, 4 changes, 3 dropped. Lockie Hunter injured, so Shane McAdam out, Taj Woden out, Adam Tomlinson out, Van Rooyen back in, which is a good in, I would say. Jack Billings is a reasonable in. Bailey Lowry, okay. Blake Howe's good. So they definitely have strengthened their side compared to what they've dropped. In one of your previous posts, you mentioned Mac Andrew to the Pies in 2026. Totally got my vote. Yeah, he's been unbelievable. Champs, have you looked into him now? Did you see him yesterday?
Yeah, he's a freak. He's a freak.
Yeah. What do you think? How many intercept marks do you think he had yesterday? I would have thought maybe 4 on Max King. If I let me just double check. He would have had 4 intercept marks at least, surely. 3 intercept marks, 8 intercept possessions. He's just a unicorn. He is a unicorn. Damien Hardwick thinks Ethan Reid, this top 10 pick that came in from last year, is a unicorn. This guy is a unicorn, and hopefully he wants to come back to the burbs in Dandenong, where he's originally from, and maybe he can come play for Collingwood. So that's in watch this space, because we're going to have money available in free agency next couple of years. Josh, Dean's never played forward. Keep Howe there for now. Exactly. I think Dean, like, going forward, if he's going forward, then probably says more about where we're at the moment, injuries-wise.
I think that was more, Josh, a more situation-based from last week with the people we had is, obviously Frampton wasn't working up forward. We need Frampton back there because Sam Darcy was killing us, and we've known his one-on-one ability this year has been elite, and he's done a real good job for us. So that's why we're suggesting Dean to swing forward to allow Frampton to go and play in the back line, so Darcy would stop bloody killing us.
Yeah. Rob, find it very comforting watching your live streams. Great work, lads. Thanks, mate. We appreciate it. We appreciate your input, because without you guys talking, we'd be talking to a brick wall, and then we run out of things to say.
It's 4 a.m. on a Sunday.
No.
Ceiling, huh?
Hey, actually, free speech is dead. Free speech is dead. I know you're here. Here we go. Interchanges. There's a couple times in your comments in my videos you say something like this.
Here we go.
Hold on. You say, I've got inside word. Like, when you say you've got inside word or very good word that something is to happen selection-wise or something like that, where does that come from? Are you allowed to disclose, or is this just you trying to substantiate your points? Yeah, you're trying to get more like, what's the word called, champs?
He's just trying to G you up, champ. He's just trying to...
Yeah. Very good word, he says. 100% agree. Ben tomorrow will be his 5th game. Needs time. Yeah, Charlie needs time. He needs time, but time is of an essence right now because we need to win games. Like, I think we could probably only lose 2 games max from here onwards if we want to make top 4. So time is of an essence.
Yeah.
Time is of an essence, sorry. Brosy comes out to Stone Cold theme music. That would G me up. Hey, we need the after the goals, we need players' favorite songs going at the G. We need that. Yeah. We need that.
Or it could be like a theme each week. Like, this week could be WWE themed, the next week could be, I don't know, something else themed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. May's a dead set flog. Even his own teammates hate him. Just ask Melsham. Love Darcy's comments. So what did Darcy say, Moshadamus? What did he say? Jack Bytel likely sub. So Caleb, I said either champ. I said either, help me out.
You said Markov or Bytel?
Yeah, Markov or Bytel. I'd probably say most likely Bytel based on performances from last week, because Bytel had a stinker, and Markov, at least if he's not touching the ball, brother, he's doing these ones.
He's doing these ones, yeah. Fuck, man, I love him.
Happy. Always so happy.
Yeah.
Rick, that's your champs.
We need to defend better between the arcs, as we're way too easy to move the ball against, and more run and play from the mark. Look, yeah, when the team's able to move the footy really quick against us, that's where we look really shit, because we play a system-based zone defense. So if we're not allowed to slow them down, they're able to rebound and we're out of position. So the trick is for us is just to make it, be able to slow up the footy up the ground to allow our defenders to set up in the zone. And then that's how we defend better. I think for us to score back, like from our rebounding 50s, like we were so good from last year's, just to continue to dare and switch the footy. I know late in the game, you want to, and if we're holding on to a lead, you kind of, you're taught to go long down the line and slow the game up that way. But I think we just still need to continue to do that in most of the sense of the game, right? Like I feel like sometimes, even if it's not in that fourth quarter situation, we get stuck going long down the line. So we just need to continue to dare and look for that inside 45, even if it's not being used to open up the ground, champs.
Yeah, exactly. And just to verify your point there, Rick, we're conceding 35 points from defensive half, which is the fourth worst in the league this year. Champs, by the way, I'm just looking here now. Wheelo have updated their score sources even more, brother. They've got scores from centre bounce. So score origin, yeah? Score origin. They've got scores from centre bounce, scores from forward half, scores from defensive half, and then score sources turnover, stoppage, kick in. So they're just giving us more insight. So just quickly, while we're on that, guys, this is for the footy nuffies of the world. So Collingwood, we score 10.9 points from centre bounces per game. Then the best teams always score from centre bounce. Port Adelaide, Carlton, Western Bulldogs, Geelong round out the top four. Surprisingly, Sydney are bottom five as well as Brisbane. So that's an interesting one there. But we'll save that, brother, for the nuffies in ourselves to look at.
Exactly.
I heard from the inside that Pies are interested in picking up Maine from Gold Coast, which shows Pies have no faith in Cox. I still can't believe they got rid of Witts in favour of Cox. So I think you're referring to Ned Moyle. Free speech is dead. I think that came from John Ralph. So I don't know if you got that. Like, did you get that from the Gold Coast helm internally? But yeah, John Ralph mentioned that Ned Moyle is being chased by 5 clubs, one of them being Collingwood. I don't think it's a matter of that there's no faith in Cox. It's just a matter of Cox is getting on in age-wise. Yeah. And Ned Moyle, did you recognise Ned Moyle yesterday, champs, a little bit against Roll Marshall and the likes? Yeah. So he's been really good. And if we have to give up our second round draft pick, which we traded, we have a second. I think we traded away our second round draft pick, but we got Hawthorn's second round draft pick for Jack Ginnivan. So I would be more than happy to give our second round draft pick to someone like Ned Moyle so that Darcy Cameron can play ruck forward moving forward. How do you feel about that, chance?
I don't mind it. I feel like I watched an interview or something with Darcy Cameron. That's kind of how we got him across, where kind of lured him over with the possibility of playing a forward ruck role, and obviously he's had to play more ruck for us, traditional ruck role. So yeah.
My best mate is good mate's the club official. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
And my mate's kids play with the club official kids. No, completely. That's what I just wanted to make sure. That's all. May bound to be useless in June. Without Jake Lever, May is that's a really good wordplay, by the way. But it's also very true because without Lever, he's useless. That's very good wordplay, Russell. That's a good one, mate. I like that. AA, All Australian for Darcy Cameron, or is that AA? Is that what you're referring to? AA 187. They asked more on his thoughts on May's comments. He said him and the boys were too busy celebrating a flag to worry about.
Oh yes, I remember that now. That was pisser.
Yeah, that's good. So it's both. It's give and take. That's what I like.
Yeah,
that's what I like. Brisbane do the song after a team goal really well for their home games. Yeah, and you see when Charlie Cameron scores goals, everyone just sings along the Country Road song. Have you seen that one, champs, as well, by any chance? It full goes a cappella. It goes a cappella. Like, so they bounce the ball and they're still singing Country Road, which is nice.
Gotta love it. Oh.
Hey, and your dad's name isn't John, is it? No, that's my uncle. That's my uncle, though. And yeah, my dad's name is Daniel, and Daniel's brother is John, and yeah, wife Lynette. So how do you know John? I'd like to see what Ned Long brings to the Pies mids, Jam. No, just one sec, Champ. Sorry, not John Cargis. Sorry, mate. No, Champ's going.
Ned Long. Yeah, well, he's 6'4", big-bodied midfielder. 6'3" or 6'4", but anyway, big-bodied midfielder. I think he's still out, right, champs? I think maybe next week he'll come back.
I think it was been extended even longer now, brother. Like 3 weeks. So maybe post-fight.
Yeah. So anyway, he's a nice, big, physical mid. I think if he was fit, he would have probably come in to the side pretty much as soon as he was drafted. mid-season, since he only knows his system. But yeah, he's just expect him to be a nice big midfielder that can kind of do the job for us as well. Good explosive speed. Yeah, he's not too bad, champs. So expect to see that, and that's what we kind of need. We kind of need someone that's a little bit of a big inside mid. So he'll help us out there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ned Long 3 weeks. So this is our list at the moment. So Hoskin Elliott's obviously available. Jamie Elliott 6 to 8 weeks. Geordie still 3 weeks. So a lot of these are reading post bye. Besides Mason Cox, besides Jamie Elliott and Oscar Steen is VFL at the moment. Anyways, Aiden Begg out for the season with a knee. Josh Carmichael. Any news on Josh Carmichael, guys? Oh, Tom Mitchell as well, champs, with was it foot surgery on his plantar fascia?
Yeah, another 6 to 8 weeks, unfortunately.
Damn.
Yeah, no good.
There we go. Cream, how you going, champ? What's going on? Champ, question for you, champ.
Yeah, a lot better today. I lost about 2 kilos last night in sweat. I reckon I've got the flu, which has done me dirty for the weekend. I had Thursday and Friday off with work on annual leave, and I got sick Thursday night, and I've been legitimately bedridden.
You've been sick all week, man.
What a shit! I want to try and get my boss to change it to sick leave because I got like 300 hours of sick leave because I can work from home. So like, this is bullshit. I'm not having it, champ. I'm not having it. It's fun.
Jacko's back. Are you not hungry anymore, brother? You're all good?
You have
you had the Taco Sunday? Jacko. Chris Talbot, welcome, brother. Hey, guys, do you think Reef should play with Kruger this week? Reef played VFL today. Caleb watched the game. He did some homework, and Caleb did notice that Reef actually featured in the midfield quite a bit. He said there was a 40-60 split. Played well, and Kruger obviously will be playing in the AFL. Was there anything in particular that you liked about Reef in the midfield, brother?
He actually surprised me. He actually had some good movement. He was able to, because he's quite big, he's able to push out the other midfielder and then explode into the spot he wanted to. So, like, he was able to do that very well, and he did that perfectly with Ilroy Smith, where he was able to push his man out, run into if we're going 12 o'clock, the tap was about 1 o'clock, and that's where the space was. He was able to push his man out, explode in, got the ball, kicked it in, and it was a inside 50 mark. So it was quite good. I reckon we'll probably see that on the VFL Instagram page just because it's Reef and Ilroy Smith, good tap, something part of his highlight. So yeah, it wasn't too bad, champ. Some promising signs there.
Yeah. Yeah, and Reef is another player in the draft combine. He was one of the fastest in the 20-meter sprints, and he actually came into Collingwood initially as a midfielder. So that's probably where that comes from. But if they're doing that, it must mean we're pretty close to trying Reef in the midfield in the face of adversity with injuries. If he's not, obviously, if we don't have these injuries, maybe he just stays in the forward line. But because Ned Long was probably next in line, brother, and now he's out for 3 weeks, we're maybe being proactive and thinking if Reef has a good game in the VFL today, which he sort of did, then if we need him in the side against North Melbourne next week as a midfielder, at least he's had one game at VFL level going into that.
That's actually a really good point, champs. Yeah, maybe because obviously we've seen Bo McCurry feature. What I think it was like 50. He was the third highest player mid for Collingwood for sort of bounce attendances last week, champ. So maybe he starts taking a little bit of time there. Lets Bo settle on the forward line a little bit longer as well, champ. So,
maybe so. Yeah. If the Bo experiment doesn't work, then that's even more reason for Reef to go in the middle, I guess. But we're pretty bullish on Bo eventually doing quite well in the midfield, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. We rate him, don't we, champ? Just need to get that offensive side working, champs. You know, we're pretty harsh on him with the pie performers, giving him a 6, I think it was, out of 10, because obviously defensively, boys.
Let me check the notes, man.
You know, defensively, he puts on blocks. He was like highest in tackles, high in pressure acts, unreal. But you know, you got to think of like Pendles as well, right? He puts on blocks for Nick Dacos and is still able to get his offense going as well, right? So just something where he needs to improve to elevate his game to the next level.
We did give Bo a 6, and I'm sure most of you guys would have been in the stream for the Pied performance, but for those that were missing, we did give Bo McCreary a 6 out of 10 despite his 14 tackles on the weekend.
Yeah.
Any standouts in the VFL?
Yeah, like Smith kind of impressed me. He wasn't out of this world, but he did impress me. I think the best for us was what's his name? Sam Glover. He's not part of that list at the moment, but he plays in the VFL. Outstanding, 27 years old, key defender. Was able to. He took some kickouts, but a lot of his marks were either goal saving on the line, and then he was able to open up the ground. He was really good. A lot of intercept marks. We'd like to see the stat. For some reason, the VFL app doesn't let you see intercept marks, champs, unless I'm not using the app correctly.
No, I think you're right, brother. I think you're right.
You think I'm right?
No, genuinely, not the piss take. Not the piss take. I think you're right. The genuine. I think you're right.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, Demetia, he was really good as well. He had the what did he have, champs? 23 disposals, a lot of run and carry off the half-back line, was able to open up the ground. A little bit on the wing as well, but mainly off the half-back today. Yeah, and he was good as well. What let us down in the VFL was probably our forwards. No real key tools to kick to, really, which was going to let us down to today.
Thank you for that, brother. That was very, very comprehensive, and Caleb took the time to watch the VFL. Not saying it's a burden to watch the VFL, but when there's only 4 AFL listed players, or maybe even around that mark for the game against a Casey Demon side, it's probably not. While he's sick as well, mind you guys.
Yeah,
so
I was all for it until we started getting pumped, and I'm like, look, I'll continue watching just to see what Smith does. And
how long were we in the game for, champ? Like, when was the game sort of like, all right,
champ, like inside, I would love to see the inside 50 stats in the first quarter, because it was close, but because our defenders were holding us up like really well. Like, I thought, does it give you a breakdown what it was? So it was 3-4 to 1-1. Couldn't really tell what the wind was doing, to be honest. But it was 3-4 to 1-1 so in the first quarter. But the Casey Demons inside 50 was just relentless. Just kept coming in and coming in, and I thought our defenders were doing quite good to hold it up. But yeah, champs.
Okay. All right. Cool. Good to know. Jimbo, side he needs to lift. He's got crazy skills on the left and right, but been missing targets recently. Yeah, and I think we noticed in the teams that maybe he moves back onto the wing, which allows Markov to come off the half-back flank a little bit more again. So that will be interesting. Caleb, Caleb came up with a good idea that for the Pie performers tomorrow, we're going to pre-assign players for Caleb and I to keep an eye on. So Caleb will have 11 players, or I might have 12, or he might have 12 and I might have 11, because when we came into the Pie performers review, we felt like we still got a lot right, but there were a few players where
7.5, man. 7.5.
I'm getting there, brother. I'm still gonna play you. I'm gonna play you. So we basically just said, look, we actually need to keep an eye on the players we're going to do ratings on, rather than going in on it blind.
Yeah.
Caleb went in blind on side. He gave him a 7.5 last week, despite his 6 or 7 claim years. 65.
I did have him as a 7. I got a bit G'd up, but yeah, look, it was a little bit of blind. But that's why I was saying now we'll have our assigned players, and we can actually just note them down while we're watching.
Champ, do you want to do the job for us, and you can split them up, or?
Yeah, I'll do the job. I'll do the job.
Just give me one day cost, man. I gave you both day costs last week, man. Would that be an option for Reef in the future, or just focus on the forward when he plays just AFL? Well, if you're playing midfield in the VFL and you're an AFL listed player who's a fringe player in AFL, you could only assume that he is being tried there to play in the midfield. And I also forgot to mention Ned Long injured, Scott Pendlebury injured, and then DeGoey injured, and then we've also now got Tom Mitchell out. So our midfield stocks have been torn to shit. So I would imagine Reef McInnes, if he plays at AFL level next time, it will probably, by the sounds of things, will play in the midfield.
I'd still think he'd be a predominant forward though, champ. So then maybe he'll be like a Finlay where he gets like 10 or 12%, and you know what I mean, test it out. Or maybe a Josh Dacos. Remember how Josh Dacos a couple of weeks ago, I think we saw him feature a few times. I think he got about 12 or 13%. Other than the next game, he got 33% centre bounce attendances. So I think Collingwood, they like to test them out in one game, see how they go, and then push them the next week as well.
I think whichever game Reef does get, I think he'll get a little bit of time. Whereas Finlay McRae, he's been tried, and maybe they've kicked the bucket and said that's enough. But who knows? Finn might get more time tomorrow.
Champs will invest in the VFL side next week as well. Well, what better side to do it against than your Misso's favourite team, North?
Right? Exactly. That's true. Krug's in. Hope he clunks a few and is injury free, especially after his run last couple of years. Absolutely deserves a clean slate and a fair crack at AFL level, which he hasn't had. Johnson is done. Excited for Krugs. Welcome to the chat, Digsby. Appreciate that. Rick, website says Ned is steering for Fleister during the week. Should be available for next week. He's done a lot of high speed running at training this week. Also, Josh Eyre was played forward today. Did you take the champs? Did you take note of Josh Eyre? He was a preseason supplementary period selection for Collingwood, and he'd done his hamstring tendon and was out for quite some time, and he's just made his return today. Just the 4 disposals I noticed, but was there anything positive? Effort, work rate, pressure, all that. Anything there, champs?
Nah, I didn't really. I'll be completely honest, champs. I didn't really pay too much attention to him. I did see his name get floated about a little bit, but yeah, only the 4 disposals from him today. If I watch another VFL game, maybe I'll pay more attention to him.
Yeah. Champs, is this real or is this a piss take? But hey, if it is, Foxy, welcome to the chat. But can we verify this, champs? Hey guys,
I'll pull it up.
Foxy, love your work. Hopefully you're recovering from that brutal concussion and the knees going well. I'm not sure if it's you, mate, so I'm just going to take it with a grain of salt, but thank you for joining the stream if that is truly you, mate. Big Coxie, you love him.
I think we're getting George.
Is it a piss take?
Yeah, I think it's...
Mate, can you click on his channel name or something off the phone? If you go to the stream, brother, on your phone and click on his channel name.
Yeah.
The big American Cox. We love him.
Nah, can't suss it.
That's all right.
Anyway,
I watched the VFL. The entries inside 50 were terrible, champs.
Yeah, I'd back that.
Yeah, tough when you. I don't know how many AFL listed players Casey would have had, but we know how many Collingwood had, and it wasn't a lot. So might be making up the numbers this year. Sydney looking fucking good. Yes, very good. Very good. And I said earlier in the stream to the chat and Caleb, I said, they're such a good team when it comes to scores from turnovers. They have this uncontested footy game where they play keepings off and can just break you down slowly, but they can also pierce through you and go fast if needed. And that's just because of the makeup of their team. Good ball users, Errol Goulden, Isaac Heaney's come out of nowhere, Chad Warner. They've got midfielders who kick goals. That's a little bit unforeseen in recent times. So Lockie likes Sam Glover, champs.
Yeah, he was unreal. He was unreal today. He should get picked. Oh, like I said, the only thing, like based off that performance, I'm like he should be playing AFL, but 27 he's probably had his opportunity. So yeah, but I thought he was really good, champs. Really good. BOG, I reckon.
Will Hoskin is due for a big game. He loves the big stage, the hyphen. Yeah, I think his last big game was against Port Adelaide. Kicked 3 goals. And everyone was fucking over the moon. And then next week he got like 3-4 touches and everyone's off him and all that sort of stuff. So that's the ebbs and flows of the fanfare in the AFL world, isn't it, champs? 1 week in, 1 week out.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's more so the case with the teams not performing as we expected in terms of what our expectations were at the start of the year, right? Going into round 1.
Yep. Matt, take out best 12 of Swans. They would be right at the bottom. Yeah, well, Richmond take their best 12 out and they're they're a bottom side, but they probably were a bottom 4 side before that. Anyways, who knows? The Swans they didn't have Callum Mills to start the year. They didn't have Taylor Adams to start the year. They don't have Luke Parker. They don't have Paddy McCartan, who retired last year. So they've had to fill a few gaps, and I think we've got to give them a little bit more credit. Air was quiet, Matt, probably on managed minutes. Maybe so as well. Champs, right? Only the 2 marks. Lockie says Ilaru was fantastic with his ruck leap and agility as well as strength against Ben Brown. Obviously wasn't show on his stats. And I think Caleb pointed out to his athleticism and his agility as well, right?
Yeah, exactly right. His ability to win the tap. I think what he does to bring his game to the next level is getting that ruck craft in terms of instead of going 12 o'clock every time or 12 to 1 or 11 o'clock, he's always going that front beat. Whereas where he brings his game to the next level is being able to hit 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock and stuff like that. That's where he elevates to the next level.
Yeah, okay. There you go. Big Ilaru. I'm sure Coxie will be able to teach him a few handy things. Big Coxie. No, I'm real, fellas. I'll hit you with the DM on Instagram if you need proof. Hey, Coxie, hit me up with a DM, mate. If we can even get you on our Pies Eyes podcast that we started a couple months ago, that would be unbelievable at some point this year. If it really is you, that's like we're really thankful for you even coming across this stream. But yeah, we've obviously got a stream here full of people who are just diehard Collingwood fans. So we'd love to hear from you and see what you're up to and hope you're well, mate. Like I said, that KO was brutal, mate. And that knee didn't look good underneath your body. So wishing you well. And mate, we need some tools. We need some tools back in the team. And we know there's no better nuisance than Big Coxie himself in the forward line, creating havoc in there. And maybe we can get another Richmond versus Collingwood preliminary final out of you in the final series this week. But yeah, hit us up on Instagram. I think my Instagram is, I'll put it in the chat. It's pies_footy1. If it is you, I'm sorry, I'm not giving you full credit, but I'm just being mindful that there are.
I'm like, I reckon we're going to troll you, Chance, but if not.
He says fellas, though. I know, because I listened to his podcast, and I know he says fellas. It's a very American thing to say. So it could be Big Coxie, and that would be huge.
He could recognise me by the time we locked eyes at Carnegie, Champs. Huh?
Hey, Coxie, that's right, Coxie. If it is you, there was one time where Caleb and I were out for dinner, and we walked past Paradise High. It was you and Tom Mitchell having dinner right by the window at Paradise High. And I go to Caleb.
We locked eyes for that long, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm like, Champs, look to the left. It's Big Coxie and Titch, Tom Mitchell. And then as Caleb looked to Tom Mitchell and Big Coxie, they've both, or at least Tom Mitchell definitely turned his shoulder and they locked eyes right at the same time. It was the most awkward thing ever. And Caleb just walked off like a embarrassed fan.
I didn't break eye contact, but.
Oh god!
Oh god!
Guys, we'll go for another 5 minutes. We'll go for another 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I've got vacancy on Tuesday evening. Can you let me check my Instagram if Big Coxie sent us because he reckons he's free on Tuesday. He's got availability, but let me just see. I just want to again verify that this is the big American Cox that we're talking about.
Yeah,
Coxie, send us one on Instagram. I'll give you my link as well, guys. If you want to follow us on Instagram as well, there's the link. We don't use it too much, to be honest. No, that's not it. Give me 1 second. That's my direct messages. We don't want that. I don't think that will allow you there. So let me go profile. I don't use it too much. I've changed where we spend more of our time. That's on YouTube. I think that's where the streams come from rather than wasting that time on Instagram. But that's where it is there. Anyhow, are there any Champs? Can you see the chat messages as well?
Yeah, I can see them.
Anything there that you want to address? We've got 5 minutes left before we got to go watch the Carlton in the game.
Well, we got the Reef McInnes comment. Paul, he wasn't pitched playing the VFL today. Recap that again. Had 16 disposals, averaged about 40 to 50% in the centre bounce attendances today. So something that we can see him potentially working into the midfield potentially, and next week would be a good time to test him there. He should come in. I reckon he was a little bit stiff not to be picked this week. But I guess they just want to manage him coming back from concussion. So something you can see next week, maybe potentially see him roll in through the midfield against North, but still predominantly playing in the forward line. What else? What other comments we got here, champs? Do we want to do a...
Digsby says, so champs, Digsby says that is his Facebook and Twitter profile could be the Big Cox. Yes, but if there's a smart troll around, they'd know that and they'd use that. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Here we go, champs. What about this?
Hopefully Hoskin Elliott plays key with Kruger and Frampton stays back. Lockie, I could not agree anymore. If I see Frampton in the full forward line, I will be like Manny, our favorite, one of my favorite viewers. I will be smashing my TV if I see Frampton in the forward line, just because he's so good for us in the back line. It provides a lot of structure, so we want him there. Good to see what Hyphen and Kruger can do together. Really keen to see Kruger play tomorrow. Hopefully he brings some of that VFL form and emulates it in the AFL.
Here we go. Go Pies. We know you can get the job done tomorrow. Pies by 9 points. Catch it tomorrow. Kinda Pies. Go Benny.
Nice,
Take care, guys. Keep pumping content out. I'll DM you via Instagram. Beautiful, mate. Fuck, would love that. Coxie, all the best. Rest up, mate, and we'll see you post by. And hopefully, if we get your DM, we can tee up a podcast for this Tuesday. That would be huge. And I'm sure everyone in the chat would love to hear from you. Just things that spring off my mind, Coxie, already. Just we want to talk about maybe where you see your future as far as like how many more years you think you've got in you. What's it like taking players like Aiden Begg, Oscar Steen under your belt and all that sort of stuff under your tutelage. So I've got that's a few things off the top of my head, but I'm sure I can get a few more with Caleb as well that we can ask you. But yeah, last couple comments, champs. Did Collingwood mess up by choosing Ash Johnson instead of Stengel in the mid-draft? Geez, hindsight's 2020, and the obvious answer would be yes, but I'd have to look into what pick Stengel was taken, and that's a tough one. Like you can't get them all right, can you, James?
Nah, and like I know Ash Johnson, he's not having the greatest year, but he did provide us with a lot of spark last year and the year before. So look, hindsight's a bitch, but if he can find some form, I don't know if he will, but if he can, he still shows a lot of promise, right, James?
Yeah. That's it. What's Pies footy? It's safe to say we surpassed Swoop Luke. James, what do I always say about this sort of comment regarding Swoop Luke? Like, what do we say? Like, what's he done for us to even get to this point, right?
You always give him the flowers, champs. You know, like he's kind of paved the way and set the template for us to kind of come across and do what we do. And without him, you know, you got to pay homage to the people here before you, champs. Yeah. So we take the compliment, but at the same time, we got to respect the guys who've come before you.
Yeah, and I've reached out to him a couple of times to do a podcast. Most recently, like last week. I know he's a busy man, but I do want to get him on the potty at some point. And
he just bars your brother, huh?
Maybe I don't know. Like I'm not sure if he's getting my DM notification Instagram, but it is. I'm sure we'll touch base at some point, guys. But I think we'll leave that at that, guys, and we're gonna go watch Carlton versus Essendon, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
And give us score prediction right now. Who's winning tonight?
Carlton by 18 points. And I've got to say hello to Yanni. Dikanete Yanni Veskuki, and I'm sure little Koch is watching. And I wish you guys all, and Maria as well, guys. And Yanni, come join the live stream tomorrow at 2 p.m. and we can have a chat there. Go Pies. Tomorrow will be very hard. Absolutely. Take care, guys. Enjoy. Oh, what's your prediction, brother? Mine's 18.
18 points. I reckon Carlton takes it by 27.
All right, done.
Big performance.
All right, take care, guys.
Hold
on, champ.
Oh, come on.